The wind howled like a living thing. A wall of white swallowed everything: sky, horizon, sound. Inside the cockpit, Captain Ethan Ward gripped the controls so tightly his knuckles blanched under the flickering red of the warning lights. The altimeter spun erratically. One engine had already died. The second coughed like an old man in the cold. Mayday, mayday. This is Flight Sierra 49. Engine failure. Visibility 0. Static answered him. No one could hear. The Arctic storm roared too loud. Outside, snow slammed against the windshield. 1,000 needles of glass. The plane shuddered, metal groaning like it was begging for mercy. Ethan tried to steady it, not for himself, but for the precious cargo behind him. Medical supplies bound for a small northern settlement. He'd made promises to deliver, even on Christmas Eve. Come on. Hold together, he muttered. Then came the explosion brief, blinding. The world tipped sideways. His stomach lurched as gravity ripped the plane from the sky. The nose plunged through the storm. Everything became a blur of white and fire and pain. When Ethan opened his eyes, there was only silence. The wreckage hissed behind him, twisted metal half buried in snow. He tasted blood and smoke. His legs screamed when he tried to move. Bone gritted under the skin. God. No. He dragged himself forward, palms tearing open against ice. The sky was a ghostly gray, the kind that promised no mercy. The cold sank deeper with every breath, clawing at him from inside. He thought of his daughter, her last message, before he left. Be home for Christmas, Daddy. Now he could barely whisper. Please, don't leave me in the cold. His voice disappeared into the wind. The snow thickened, wrapping around him like a shroud. Minutes, maybe hours passed, he couldn't tell. He tried to crawl again, each motion slower, weaker. His eyes flickered shut. Then a sound. Not the storm, not his heartbeat. Bells, soft, distant, rhythmic, the sound of sled harnesses. Ethan blinked through frost-caked lashes. A faint, flickering light moved through the white haze, a lantern, swaying gently. The light drew closer, and through the blur emerged a figure, a woman, wrapped in heavy fur, face shadowed by the hood of a sealskin parka. 2 huskies trotted beside her, their breath forming ghosts in the air. She knelt beside him without a word. Her gloved hand brushed his face gentle, searching for life. Her eyes, dark and steady, studied him with quiet urgency. He tried to speak. Help! She hushed him softly. No speak. Save breath. Her voice was calm, low and rhythmic, like the wind had learned compassion. She pulled a thick fur blanket from her sled and wrapped it around him, her movements sure and practiced. Then, with surprising strength, she lifted his upper body and laid him across the sled. The dogs barked once, and the sled began to move. As the world dimmed, Ethan's last sight was the faint glow of her lantern, bobbing through the storm, the only warmth left in an endless world of white. When Ethan woke, it was to the soft crackle of fire and the scent of smoke mixed with something rich and earthy. Boiled herbs, seal fat, and the faint sweetness of burning wood. His head throbbed. His leg felt heavy, bandaged tightly with something rough yet warm. He blinked at the flickering light. A small Inuit cabin surrounded him, walls of driftwood, stitched hides, and snow-packed seams that glowed faintly in the firelight. A storm howled faintly outside, but in here, it was calm. A woman sat beside the hearth, her back to him, stirring a pot. The firelight painted her profile in golden shadow. When she turned, he saw her face clearly for the first time, strong cheekbones, wind-burned skin, eyes dark as the northern night. "You're awake," she said quietly. Her English was soft, accented, careful. He swallowed hard, his throat raw. "Where am I?" "Far from sky. Safe now." She poured a wooden bowl of steaming broth and handed it to him. His fingers trembled as he took it, the warmth seeping into his palms. He sipped salt and smoke and life itself. "You saved me," he murmured. She shrugged. "Storm found you. I only pulled you back." He wanted to thank her, but his voice cracked. Instead, he looked around the cabin: animal pelts, handmade tools, carved figures of whales and birds. A single candle stood by a window slit, its flame steady despite the wind. "Name's Ethan," he said eventually. She nodded. "Anana." The name sounded like snow falling, simple, pure. Over the next few days, time slowed. The outside world vanished behind walls of white. Ethan's body mended slowly, but his soul, frayed by years of flying and running from memory, began to thaw in the stillness. Anana spoke little. She didn't need to. Her kindness was practical. She showed him how to melt snow for drinking, how to use seal oil for the fire, how to wrap fur to stop frostbite. When he offered to fix her broken radio, she just said, "Storm's still angry. You call later. You live first." He found out she lived alone. Her son had died the Christmas before fever, no medicine, no plane fast enough to save him. She said it quietly, staring into the flames. He didn't know what to say. He only reached out, placing his hand gently over hers. For the first time in years, he didn't feel alone. On the 7th night, she handed him a small wooden carving: a bird, wings spread. "My son made this for sky people." He turned it in his hand, eyes stinging. He must have believed in flight. Anana smiled faintly. He believed in return. Outside, the wind eased. Through the narrow window slit, faint green light shimmered the northern lights, dancing like quiet spirits above the tundra. Anana lit a small candle beside the fire. "For those who could not stay," she whispered. Ethan nodded, his voice breaking. "And for those who found us anyway." In that frozen cabin, surrounded by silence and snow, warmth wasn't a thing they built. It was something they became.